Hockey town, going down to hockey town, whoa, whoa. Hockey town, take me down to hockey town, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher, along with Jerry Burrow, and we're going to talk about hockey in Minnesota, from the pros to high school and everything in between. And let's start with high school, because we've just come off the Christmas break.
A lot of tournaments.
A lot of tournaments that took place.
Now we kind of know who's who.
Yeah.
So right away, I mean, down in the Schwann and Sports Authority were two big tournaments down in the Twin Cities, and Eden Prairie came out on the gold division with the good teams, and so they're one of the better teams in the state, and I still got them in my book to win it all, and I got them number 2 in the top 10, you know. But over in Sports Authority, they didn't really have a bracket tournament. They had a round robin where they played 3 games with good teams. They had Stillwater, which was undefeated going into this, and they lost their first game to not Lakeville North, but Holy Family Catholic, which is playing very good right now, this school out in the west side of the Twin Cities. And Benil tied Lakeville North with one of the better games I've seen this year, and went into overtime, and I thought it looked like it was 5-on-5, but it looked like it was 3-on-3, because all you saw was 2-on-1s and
Really?
in the 8-minute overtime. And I tell you, it was a great game in that. So down there in the cities, Benil, Eden Prairie looked good. And then up here, Hermantown won the Hilltopper Classic. And they looked very good over 3 periods in every game. And they kind of were dominating.
Now, they beat Cloquet Esco Carleton in the championship.
8-3.
8-3.
Yeah,
right.
and they beat Roseville 6-3 and 5-2 on the first game with Delano, which is a very good A team. And
yeah.
They were about 6, and I think now I have them at 10. But the thing that came out of that tournament is Coach Bruce Plant of Hermantown. He just won his 500th victory coaching Hermantown.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And, you provided us with a list here. The Duluth News Tribune put together a list of the Minnesota Prep Boys Hockey 500 Win Club. And at the top is Lauren Grosso of Rochester, Mayo, with 701. And now Bruce Plant is on that coveted list of 500 Prep Boys hockey wins or more. Bruce Plant of Hermantown, 500 wins. And, wow, what great company to be in. Mike Randolph, Duluth East, 566 wins. And
yeah, can you believe Randolph, with the schedule he has, being in the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th in the all-time.
And he missed a season, too, when there was that controversial season with a school superintendent or an athletic director. I don't recall all the details, but he had, he's probably got 10 wins he could add to that list. But even more so, Bruce Plant missed. He was a pro scout for like 5 or 6 years where he didn't coach. Yeah. And he was out of the game.
Right.
So
give him credit. Hey, the one thing you have to give credit to any coach out there right now, it's hard to coach these kids, There's so many different personalities and parents involved, and, it's hard. And I have to give credit to any coach out there that's coaching kids. I mean, so to stay a long time like Bruce has, I mean, that's even more credit to his, hats off to Bruce.
So we had the Hilltopper Classic. Hermantown won that. Denfeld had their Holiday Classic as well.
Right, and St. Paul Academy won that, 1-0 over St. Louis Park. And a very good team in the A class. And, hey, it turned out to be a pretty good tournament because they had 2 very good Wisconsin teams, Eau Claire Memorial and what was the other team that was down there?
Roseville? Were they in that
No,
tournament?
it was another team from Wisconsin.
Oh, not
Hudson.
Hudson. Okay.
Hudson.
Yeah.
So that was a good game. Two good Wisconsin teams. So
Well, we're taping Monday, January 4th, and tonight at Heritage, East and Enfield.
right. And I'll tell you what, East played a good game last Saturday against one of the best teams in the state, and one of the, for sure, probably the best high school player, Riley Tufty. And I guess some people say that it's called tough.
Well, John Gilbert talked to him, and he didn't correct him when he said Tufty.
Okay.
So
I've been calling him Tufty all my life.
Yeah.
But it could be, I mean, we could all be wrong.
Well-
but whatever. He's a great player.
Yeah.
The thing that he's got is 6'5.5". So that's huge. That's a basketball player.
and he'll be at UMD next year.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he could go to juniors, but I see him coming in.
So is he the lead right now for Mr. Hockey in Minnesota?
I would say by far right now.
Really?
Yes. And then the only
By far?
Yes. I don't think it's close right now the way he's playing. And they'll
Well,
get
if you
their-
had to pick a second or a third, who would be?
Michael Graham, that was going to go to UMD.
Yeah.
Now he's going to Notre Dame. He decommitted. He plays for Eden Prairie. I put him number 2. And another kid from Eden Prairie, if he's accelerating his going 2 years in 1 year,
Yeah.
like Aaron Ness did for Rosal a few years back, where he graduated a year early. If he does that, then he would be up for it. And then,
How about maybe Hibbings Perinovich? Is he?
he's only a junior.
Okay.
He's
All
only
right.
a junior. He's up for the National Hockey League draft because of age. He's a late, but
all right.
but he's only a junior for high school, and you have to be a senior for Mr. Hockey.
Well, you've got to be excited about the class that UMD has bringing in.
Yeah, they had a lot of them at the game the other night. Colby Bender, Colby Roth. They had Riley was there and Tufty. They had, who else was there? They had a few guys there on the bench before during the warm-ups. So it was, I think, yeah, we got some good recruits coming in.
So here we are now into the new year, January of 2016, and we'll have Jerry go over his list of top A and double A teams.
Okay, we'll start with Class A. Hermantown's back on top after a week off, and he went to 2. Breck lost a couple games in the Schwann Cup Silver Division, and Hermantown played real good. So Hermantown's number 1, and they got to go up. They play Grand Rapids on Tuesday night, and then East goes up there after that on Thursday night. So Rapids going to play 2 Duluth area teams that are really good teams, I think. East, record-wise, is not playing that good until last Saturday. So I tell you, Hermantown is looking what everyone thought they would. So they're going up to up to Rapids on Tuesday night, which is tomorrow night. Let's see, Breck number 2, St. Cloud Apollo's playing real good. Number 3, Montemita, number 4, and Hibbing. I think it surprised a lot of people that they're this high in that.
They were still undefeated
Yeah, they're the only undefeated, untied team in hockey.
in the state. Yeah.
Yes. So.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and then Perinovich, he played for the USA team that played UMD.
Yes.
He was dressed.
Yeah.
But he didn't play that many shifts. But the funny thing about it, this guy is very creative, and he likes to pinch, go in like a forward and everything. They wouldn't allow that. He had to stay back every time.
So he had some ice time and was
Yeah,
able
but he just stayed back at the blue line and held his spot.
Okay.
That's not his style, though.
So he's glad to be back with his.
Yeah, I think in high school he wants to go back and
Yeah.
move.
There you go. Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah, but hey, it's a good experience though to play for
It is.
the national team. And then number 6, St. Paul Academy, which won the Duluth Heritage Center tournament. Number 7, St. Cloud Cathedral. Number 8, East Grand Forks. Number 9, Thief River Falls. Number 10, Delano. Okay, teams to watch. Hey, Greenway is playing real good this year. I think they only lost 2 games. They're like 11-2 or something like that.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, they're back.
Yeah, they're playing real good. Little Falls, Laverne, North Shore. I think North Shore only lost 2 games or 1 game. They might be.
Did you hear how they did in their tournament?
They won all 3.
They did.
Yes, they won all 3, and I don't know if that was a bracket or round robin.
All right.
So, Orono, Princeton, Sartell, St. Stephen, and St. Paul Johnson. Old St. Paul Johnson, the old.
Yeah.
Back in the '60s, used to have the good teams, the Pelletiers, and.
Was that Herb Brooks' alma mater?
Yeah.
Or was he a governor?
No, that's a governor.
That's them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's good to see that they have a decent team. Okay, back over in Class AA, the big schools. We got Benil, number 1. Eden Prairie, number 2. Blaine, number 3. A lot of people, I'll tell you what, there have to be over 40 pro scouts at that game on Saturday watching Tufty.
The Blaine East game.
Yes. Yeah, that was loaded. Then they all went down to the Amsoil for the USA team to watch those kids.
Sure.
Yeah. Number 4, Bemidji. Number 5, Stillwater. Wait, I'm sorry. Number 5 I got is Holy Family. And number 6 I got is Stillwater. And number 7, Lakeville North. Number 8, Edina. Number 9, Hill Murray. And number 10, the Elks are back. They're moved back into the top 10. They had a good tournament out there in St. Louis Park, the Sports Authority. They won 2 games out there, and the only game they lost was to Benil, close game. So teams to watch. Anoka. I'm going to put Duluth East in there still to watch because they played good against Blaine. Blaine's goalie played. I mean, they outshot them like 25-18. They only allowed 6 shots a period. I mean, they played good. I mean, they played good enough to win. And then we got Egan, Farmington, Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is going to have a tough week with East and Hermantown this week. Minnetonka is playing really good. And as soon as someone plays a bad week up on the top 10, Minnetonka will probably move up into the top 10. Prior Lake was doing real well until the Sports Authority. Then they lost 3 games, so I dropped them back to teams to watch. St. Thomas Academy is another team that's playing really good. Wazetta's team to watch. They were in the top 10 all year, but they'll play a good game, and then they'll play a bad game. So they're very inconsistent. Like I say, half of these teams in the top 10 and half the teams to watch. I mean, most of the teams to watch are very inconsistent. And then White Bear Lake.
Well, that's really interesting. There's no Duluth teams in the top 10, Class A or Double A, but there might be some redemption come Hockey Day Minnesota when Duluth will take the spotlight for the outdoor games that are scheduled to be played at Bayfront Festival Park. And have you heard anything on how that's progressing? I know that Bentleyville now has their displays down.
They're moving it fast so they can get that ice up. They
Yeah.
want to get that ice up. And probably it's cold enough right now, the nights and that get a few weeks of that ice to get it nice, water it all the time. So hopefully the weather helps us out.
Well, there was an outdoor game in the NHL. The Winter Classic was played in Boston, and Montreal really handed it to Boston. I think 5-1, I think was the final. 4-1, 5-1.
Okay, yeah.
And Montreal won that contest. Toronto is being rumored to be next year's host for the 2017 Winter Classic. And of course, you got the Stadium Classic Series that will feature the Blackhawks and the Wild this February. Let's see, we've got that scheduled for February
21st.
21st.
Yep.
It's a Sunday. 2:30 drop of the puck, Minnesota and Chicago. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, that's they're really selling that pretty big because all the employees down there at the XL upstairs are wearing jackets for the Stadium Series, and so it's a big deal.
Now, when is the Hockey Day Minnesota?
February 6th, Saturday.
February 6th.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I know they've held it in January in past years. So.
And another thing is the outdoor game is Sunday, but the day before is the semis for 7A and 7AA. So if you want to see 4 great high school hockey games, just come down to the Amsoil on Saturday and you'll see four games. I mean,
When is this?
day before February 20th, Saturday.
Before the outdoor game in Minneapolis.
The day before.
Okay, not the Hockey Day, Minnesota.
No,
You're talking the winter. Okay,
Winter
gotcha.
Classic.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, just to let people know to put that on their calendar, because usually it's Elk River, Grand Rapids, Duluth East, Cloquet in the Final Four. Usually.
And then there will be that alumni game on Saturday as well. Saturday
that's right.
the 20th.
Right.
You're going to have former North Stars, former Wild players against former Blackhawk players. So look forward to that.
I know Gordy Roberts, who is the coach of Elk River, is going to be playing.
Oh yeah, Bobby
Yeah, he told
Smith
me.
was on the roster.
He told me
Broughton.
he was.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah. So that's just fun seeing the old guys still skating around.
It is.
And some
It
of them
is.
you thought, holy cow, he can still play maybe.
Oh, we were talking about the Wild. They played at Florida the
Yeah.
other day, and Jaromir Jagr scored 2
Yeah.
goals. And Al Montoya, a goaltender for Florida, when I saw that name, I thought, my God, he's still in the league? There was, he had kind of a not too glorious entrance into the NHL, but yeah, he's still playing.
Right. He came out of Michigan, didn't he?
Not sure.
Yeah, he played a good game because what did he stop? About 39 shots or something like that? 38,
exactly.
39 shots?
Yeah.
Only let one in.
The Wild are in the midst of a road trip that they've only won 1 game. They're, let's see, they started in St. Louis, and that was the game they won. On New Year's Eve, the Wild went to St. Louis and won 3-1, and they lost games Saturday, January 2nd to Tampa Bay, and the 3rd to Florida, and then they'll play Tuesday at Columbus, and then the Wild will be back home on Thursday, January 7th, to take on the Flyers, and that is an NBC Sports Network broadcast. And then Saturday, this Saturday the 9th, the Wild at the evil Dallas Stars.
Ooh, evil now.
Uh-huh.
So one thing
But how about Dallas? They go up to Chicago. Patrick Sharp's named second star of the game, and they beat Chicago 4-0.
Here's the thing that got me. Fontaine played on against St. Louis. Scores a couple assists. They go down to Tampa Bay Saturday to play them against his own teammate J.T. Brown. They healthy scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. He scores a couple points. Don't they want offense? He's, I mean, like, he must be doing something right to get a couple points.
And he had a point-blank shot on Friday that it was just a great save. Again, Montoya played a good game, but
On Sunday, you mean?
on Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, so then he played on Sunday again, but that's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Coach wants Fonzie to sit and think about why he's not scoring any goals.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Then he better sit everyone.
What do we have? College hockey, like you said, the UMD Bulldog men beat the under-18 team, but it took overtime?
Yes, it did. They were behind 3-0 going into the third period. It was kind of funny. Someone in the press box says, oh, Toninato was going to come back and get 4 goals, and we're going to win 4-3. Sure enough, he gets 3 goals and an assist.
Now, who said that in the press box? Anybody I know?
Yes, Morgan Nygaard.
Oh, my goodness.
Bob Nygaard's son.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think
Great prediction.
I think he better play the lotto or something.
Yeah, or just keep him in that press box and let him talk and heed his call. Dominic Toninato played a great game and carried the Bulldogs on his shoulder, and
Right.
They won the game. You don't want to lose those games.
But you need some. At about time, I mean, to see someone pick it up like that. They need that punch. They haven't had that for a long time. Someone when they're down a little bit, they just needed someone to pick that team up, and they did it. So now they know they can do it.
UMD will play at Miami, Ohio this weekend, and then they'll return to Amsoil Arena January 15th and 16th, and they'll face off against St. Cloud State.
Yeah, they just have 3 more series at home
St. Cloud
during the regular season.
Colorado College in Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Well, in the standings in the NCHC, we got North Dakota with 27 points, and St. Cloud State with 24 points, 27 points and 24 points. And then UMD is third at 14. they all played 10 games, but then Omaha will most likely bypass Omaha because they have 13 points but only 8 games. And then Western Michigan has 12 points, so there's a lot of fighting to go on here to try to make the home team in the playoffs.
In the
Top
end-
4 teams play home for the playoffs, so
Yeah.
we're in the second half of the season, and yeah, North Dakota is playing real good, and St. Cloud State's playing real good.
Well, the coaches poll has North Dakota number 1. That just came out today, January 4th. Quinnipiac number 2. St. Cloud State 4.
Yeah,
And Nebraska Omaha 6th. And we've got Minnesota State 18th, UMD 19th
right.
in the coaches poll.
Right, and what are they, like 23 in pairwise here? Let's see, what are they at? No, but
Yeah, 25th.
25.
25th in the pairwise.
Right.
UMD currently with a 7-7-3 record. And I don't know, they're playing okay. They were picked, the preseason pick to win the conference. And I don't know if they're up to the task of beating a North Dakota, but they're playing well.
And on the pairwise, this is one thing I still don't understand how Minnesota can be 19th ahead of UMD, which beat Minnesota twice. I mean, UMD's played better than Minnesota has so far this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, they played some teams that they lost to are up there, you know.
Well, in the pairwise, Quinnipiac is number 1, and Harvard is number 2, and Harvard beat the Gophers in the Mariucci Classic.
That's right.
To take that tournament.
Right. Harvard, I mean, some of those Eastern teams are very good.
Well,
it shows right here on the
they've
ranking.
only got 1 loss on the season.
Last year's champion, Providence is 6 in the pairwise, and Quinnipiac was in the tournament. They're number 1 right now, number 2 on the USCHO poll. So, yeah. Well, the Minnesota Wilderness, they lost a couple games this previous week to Jamesville. So,
I know they've got a game Thursday up in Cloquet. The Wilderness will play there, and then they've got, I believe, 2 games on the road this coming weekend, but Thursday they'll be at home in Cloquet.
yeah, so, hey, they're up there on the standings, so I expect them, they should make the playoffs again, so that's good. And, hey, last year they just made the playoffs and went on the road and did.
So Kobe Bender had to make a decision, and he did.
Right,
He decided that he was going to leave high school
right,
and stay with the Wilderness,
right.
and then he is now, we know that he's going to land in UMD possibly,
I'd
not
say
next year, but the year
Yeah,
after.
I'd say the year after.
Yeah.
So,
And who was the last high school hockey player to leave Cloquet early
Kuhlman.
to pursue his?
Carson Kuhlman left
it
early.
Carson? Okay.
He left early. He went
Yeah.
down to the USHL, I think Dubuque, and then came back to.
It's pretty amazing when you look at Cloquet because Jamie Langenbrenner did it.
Yeah, he went up to Canada, St. Petersburg.
I don't know if Plant left early or not. I don't
know
think
that.
he did.
I don't know that because I wasn't back here. He would have left in the late 80s there.
Did Millen stay? Did he leave early?
I don't know that.
Corey Millen?
No, he played in the state high school
Yeah.
playoffs and that, and then he broke his leg or ankle, whatever it was, in that big game against Columbia Heights. Because they still talk about it at the
Yeah.
Coliseum. The
Yeah.
full house sardines in there at the Coliseum down there in the Twin Cities.
Well, I got into the Coliseum for the first time at the State Fair. Very cavernous and just huge building. And that's where they used to hold the state tournament, huh?
Yep. The old state fairgrounds where they bring all the animals in.
And I understand it was, there'd be a blue haze in there from the smoke that would...
Yeah. Get up on top of the rafters there.
Isn't that something?
Concrete all the way.
Yeah.
But know what's funny about that? They're thinking of, someone gave me, they're thinking of trying to reopen that. Put new ice in there and everything.
Well, it'd be great.
Yeah, I thought that was a great building for
Yeah.
hockey and that in the playoffs. See, now they have to cut it in half. They got to make the playoffs over at Aldrich, so half the people can't get in now for the playoffs. Like Hill Murray
Yeah.
section, and I mean, they used to pack it in. You couldn't, I mean, they had to throw people away. That's how bad it was because they always everyone wanted to see, usually it was White Bear and Hill Murray most of the time. Now Stillwater's been playing good hockey
So
lately.
there's talk of doing that, huh?
Yeah, someone told me that. And I said at first I didn't believe him, but he says
Yeah.
no. So let's wait and see on that one.
All right.
That'd be good. So what else is new in hockey? Oh, Mr. Forbert. Derek.
Yeah, he scored his first NHL goal with the LA Kings.
Yeah. That's got to be the neatest. I was talking to his dad, and he said, yeah, he's just thrilled to death. That interview is still a classic. I mean, when he said that he thought Brown tipped it in or something like that, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
But talking about he's only 30, the farm team is only 30 miles away, but most of the time he's just a healthy scratch, he says. But so he gets paid full price as being a pro then. He doesn't get the minor league pay. So he's getting 10 times more than going down to the minor league club. He says that's good money-wise, he says. And he says he's getting some playing time. And he got sick right in the beginning of the season when he first started, he said, and that screwed him up. And the player that came in was playing real well, so he had a hard time getting back in there. So now he's back, you know. But they like his size and everything. And he'll be playing, if not there, he can be a good trade maybe for someone where he'll get more playing time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all these teams, they're maxed out on their, on their salary caps. A lot of these teams, and he'll be up for renewal. So, what do you do with that if they don't have the money?
Well, Derek Forbert in the Minnesota Wild jersey sounds really nice.
Right. Yep. And what else is going on? And what did someone just tell me? Not Forbert, but on the USA team, they had Perinovich, it's coming to UMD, play for them. They had Joey Anderson, a Hill Murray kid that went out to the national team when he was just a sophomore. And then he was on the team, and he was on the first line, so he's coming in next year. So like you say, and UMD has some good recruits coming in. And who else was on that national team? Brian Bellows' kid. He was on the first line with Joey Anderson. But
really? Okay.
And the other first line kid, they're both going to BU, though. Bellows and that,
Yeah.
they're going to BU. But there is some, the Minnesota kids look good.
Good.
On that team, so.
It was nice to see Justin Falk and the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Blackhawks in Chicago. I believe it was 2-1, and Justin Falk was named Player of the Game.
Good for him.
Or
He's
the first star. He got the first star.
He played good as soon as 1 year at UMD.
He sure did.
Niskanen did the same thing. Played 2 years. I didn't think he played that good in college, but he took off.
Right.
And all of a sudden, he got with the right person, the team up with, to help him out, and before you know it, he's a regular all the time.
Well, Niskanen left and started with the Dallas Stars.
Yep.
And he's now playing with the Washington Capitals.
Right.
Had some great years with Pittsburgh as well. But Justin Falk and Dennis Niskanen, two of our favorites from UMD for sure.
Yeah, Matt.
Well, we've come to the end of the program, the Minnesota Hockey Connection. You can find us online, minnesotahockeyconnection.com. Go to our Facebook page. Like us on Facebook as well. And if you get a chance to get out to see some hockey games, take advantage of it. We've got some great venues in Duluth. And we've got some great young youth hockey players as well, scattered throughout the many rinks that we have. So check out an amateur game, a youth game, if you get a chance as well. And with that, Jared, we'll be back here next week to drop the puck, and we'll see you then.
Yep.